Commemoration of the International Women's Day, the global community is set to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action at the 69th session of the Commission on the Status of Women, taking place from March 10 to the 21st, 2025 at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Representatives from UN member states, UN agencies, and accredited non-governmental organizations will gather to review the progress made since the adoption of the landmark 1995 agreement, focusing on gender equality and women's empowerment. The key theme of this year's session will be the assessment of Beijing's platform implementation, alongside the challenges that remain and how it ties into the achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The bureau for this session includes key leaders from Saudi Arabia, Costa Rica, the Netherlands, Cabo Verde, and Ukraine, who will guide discussions on the ongoing path towards gender equality. And ahead of the session, countries will conduct national reviews, while regional UN commissions will also host meetings to further contribute to the discussions. These reviews will help shape the direction of future progress for women's rights and equality worldwide. Joining me from Freetown, Sierra Leone is Dr. Sylvia Blyden. She's the youngest person to lead a political party in Africa and also a former Sierra Leonean Minister for Social, Gender and Children's Welfare. It's good to have you join us on The World Now.
It's good to have you. It's good to be on your program once again.
Right, welcome. The UN Commission on Status of Women has been very instrumental in promoting women and girls' rights. But how far would you say the world has really come in achieving global standards on gender equality and empowerment for women and girls?
30 years on from Beijing, there have been significant success stories, both on a global scale as well as on the continent of Africa. I was one of the 17,000 women from all across the world who went to Beijing. I went there and I represented the young women of Africa. I spoke to world leaders on behalf of the young women of Africa. And so comparing what used to happen 30 years ago to now, there are tremendous success stories because the women have ensured we keep the issues on the agenda. Every single year, especially during the 5-year anniversaries, after every 5 years, the review process has ensured that these issues, there are 12 of them that were put on the Beijing Declaration. We have ensured that these issues are put on the agenda and are pushed forward. So there have been tremendous success stories across the world and in Africa. But at the same time, we still have challenges. We still have huge challenges facing women that existed 30 years ago and still continue to exist. But all in all, the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action resulted in a gender policy framework, a gender equality policy framework that has yielded tremendous successes across Africa and in many states.
You know, it's very great that, you wear many hats, but as a politician and former minister yourself, what role would you say men themselves play in increasing women's representation in major sectors, most especially politics and governance?
You would have to ask me the question again. I didn't get what role has...
Right, I was asking you, talking about your experience as a politician and a former minister, the role of men in increasing women's representation in politics and governance.
I remember exactly 10 years ago in Washington, D.C., I was at an event where the second woman to be president in Africa, Her Excellency Joyce Banda, and myself, we shared the table together. And one thing she said very clearly is that women of Africa, if we want gender equality, we have to ensure the men are on board. If the men are not on board, especially given the parochial and chauvinistic tendency of African societies, the women would be banging all the kitchen pans possible, but if the men are not on board, we will not succeed. And I think she has been accurate. If the men have not been by our side, well, some of the men, and these are the men we refer to as the he for she men. And we have quite a few of them across the world and Africa who have actually taken concrete steps to ensure that women succeed in achieving what the Beijing Declaration wants for women. So we have men across Africa who are he for she men who have ensured, taken concrete action to ensure women are empowered. So I believe the success story has not just been us, the women. We've had some tremendous men with very great sterling qualities come forward. Some of them have been heads of states and they have passed legislation to ensure that women can enjoy the police, the atmosphere where they can yield the greatest possible contribution to society, which is all of what 17,000 of us women went to Beijing for 30 years ago. So yes, without the men, we could not have done it.
Right, it's an ongoing conversation, but that's how much we can take now. Thank you for talking to us. Dr. Sylvia Blyden, former Minister, Social, Gender and Children's Welfare, Sierra Leone. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you too.
But that's it on TVC News this hour. For more updates on the stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website on www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News and on YouTube. We are live at TVC News Nigeria. Thanks for watching.